was surprised how easy it was to connect to that. Welcome to the Master Plan Subcommittee meeting, April 2nd, 2025. And the purpose of our meeting this evening is to review the SurveyMonkey that's been developed and to discuss the process of implementation of the Master Plan survey. We have uploaded the questions into SurveyMonkey, or I have uploaded the questions into SurveyMonkey, and it's in a draft form, ready to be sent out. And then I just wanted to give some updates as to how the process went, and so two changes that I made to what was the final copy. First observation is that every category or that's in the survey is a different page in the survey, so that so page 1 is introduction, page 2 is respondent profile, etc. When we come to respondent profile, I broke out question 10, which is how many children or teenagers under 18 live in your household, and then it asks for age groups. And the easiest way to address that was to make a different question about the age groups. The only other change I made was to put the category assessment at the very end, after visions and goals, because categories, visions, goals, and objectives is identified here without having exposed oneself to it. So I flipped that around. So that's why the numbering is a little off as far as that's concerned. But everything that deals with, everything that we put in here, I believe is there. I contemplated, because I can print a copy of this, and I didn't know if that would be helpful for us this evening or not, but I didn't do that. So I'll just walk through. So we have this idea that, the introduction, you got to hit OK in order to go to the next segment, I believe. So this is what it looks like for respond. Are you a resident aware? And you will respond there, and then the same thing continues as you scroll down. It populates itself as far as, otherwise you can't do anything to it until it becomes live in front of you. So it follows through all of that information, and through that whole respondent thing. I was telling Phil earlier that with the AI part over here on the right, it gives you ideas of tips of what to do to change things. And one of the things I left out, 35 to 44 age group, when I first did it, and it caught it.
That's cool.
So I was able to fix that. So question 10 is how many within the age group, what are the ages, and so you click and it drops down 0 to 4.
What happens when you select one?
And if I don't have children, what do I select? Or just skip it, I guess?
Yeah, you would skip it anyways. What are the age groups, number of children?
Yeah, what if you
So
have...
that's not giving me we gotta fix that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a note of that, of how to fix that, or, I don't know how to. So then, everything else is pretty much straightforward for all the categories. I did have, when you go to populate this, it did have suggested categories for like these annual income categories, but I used the categories, hard put them in instead of using their suggestions.
Okay.
Everything else is pretty, is there anything else? And so it follows, so I guess we'll have to address that age group thing. But this is how it looked for, our transportation for not at all to very important or don't know. And then there was other as to what that would be.
Just
And-
a little quibble, but on the headers, since we say in the paragraph that it's gonna be the number one, and then it switches to the word one, could we, I would expect the actual numbers 1 through 5.
Oh, numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. I can do that. Let's see if we can edit that right now. So, actually, we can, instead of doing it the other way, we can do it this way, then we can edit on the fly. That was under
There we go.
this one here?
Yep.
Oh, that's the first one, yep. Okay, so, let's see, I can hit edit. And make these one. Oops, don't do
You
that.
sure know your way around SurveyMonkey now, Bill?
Yeah, 3 hours worth of. It doesn't look like I can put a number in there.
Huh.
So if maybe I have to take it out, no. Yeah, I can't put
That's
a number.
weird. Do we want weights?
That's just, that populates itself based upon the fact that the question is asking you to rank. It's a matrix ranking scale, which, I mean, we can change it to something else. but-
No, but the weight specifically, because then we'd end up with like an aggregate at the end where it would say, oh, people entered 1, so 5 would be 5
Oh, I
times
can
as
take that
important.
off.
Yeah.
Use weights, remove that. Maybe that will change this. Yep,
That's unexpected, but worked out.
yep. DK okay?
Okay.
Two, three, four, five. All right. Okay, that's 19. So then when it did do the satisfied, these, it didn't have a 1.
Well,
That's the thing.
that's nice, though. The headers are nice. Do
Yeah.
you mind scrolling up just a little bit? I know we just, like on the, what were the 1 through 5? Oh, it was important, okay. I was thinking, could we even have the header? Do we even need the numbers 1 through 5? Could we say not at all important? Something very important, but we'd have to come up with language for that.
Right. I think because we start with not at all, and then 5 is very important, I think that the 1 through 5 is sufficient.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah, we'll just stay consistent throughout.
Yeah, so there's
Questions
some
of the same
things,
style,
just like
yeah.
we just did now, I'll need to edit that other part
Yeah.
when it comes up again. So then we go to community facilities and services, page 4. And, it's interesting that
Yeah.
populated it correctly
Does
there.
that one have weights?
Get in there with the fine print.
Edit.
No, okay.
Yep,
Oh, yeah. Weird.
so we don't want to use weights.
I don't think
That's
so.
a very odd default. Yeah, we don't want that.
Because a 5 is not 5 times as important as a 1.
Correct. So do we want, it says forced ranking, 1 response per column.
Response per column. I think we could choose to say if they don't fill it out, we could treat that as a don't know.
Yeah, I think that would be an interpretive decision on our part.
And then that, I think, It's my opinion that would keep people going.
Right,
Like, I don't know, I'm gonna leave it blank.
yeah, okay, we'll just leave it then. So hit save. And then we're moving on to the next section is the very satisfied, and then land use is next. Again, we've got our 1 through 5.
This one looks like it's checkboxes though, like a multiple select.
Good question. It's still matrix rating,
Yeah.
but it had no weight. I don't know why it
They allow multiple responses per row. That's,
used checkbox.
yeah, I think that should not be checked.
Yeah. Let's see what that looks like. Did I hit save?
I saw you click save. Oh, it may be dragged a little bit though.
Okay. Circles, all right, good point. This one is check boxes all apply, so that's where, so that's, I didn't notice that. That's,
There's a typo in 28. The satisfied R is put together.
where?
The second word should be split into two words. How satisfied are.
Uh-oh. How satisfied are. Okay,
Oh, that one has the weights. Back, maybe you have to. Oh, it's because these are. Oh. These might have to become numbers then.
it's because it's a single row rating scale.
Single row rating scale. Oh, okay.
So when it presents itself, it's not this way, it's this way.
Again, I hope we get the, and maybe we'll be able to run through and get a sample response, because if we get the individual data, great, but if we only get the combined weights, then if everybody put a don't know, or
Right.
if it hides the numbers behind the weights, then we'll,
Yeah, that's a part of the dynamic of what goes on with this product. There's not a lot of hands-on tutorial in the product. You gotta go outside to like a YouTube guru to, because I'm still puzzled over why I can't bring it to the point of being ready to share and have the link separate unless I hit share. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
well, if I understand, they would, because otherwise anybody could come and edit it.
Right. But what I mean, well, I guess what I mean is that if I hit share, that's where I gotta send it someplace. So how am I going to know where I'm sending it? Is it gonna be a link on the town website? Is it gonna be
Okay, you don't
a
see that
QR
until
code? And I don't
afterwards?
see that until I hit share. It doesn't have a drop down to say, now, this is what you do now.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
Maybe make another mock survey just to
Right.
play with and see what happens.
Yeah, well, that's why there's two versions here. There's the one that we're working with right now, and then there's a draft. I saved it as a draft, just for, because I have no idea where it was gonna go.
So, but back to can don't know have a weight of 0 or, well, no, we should have an equal,
yeah,
what weight should it be? It's as valuable
I
as,
think they should all be equally weighted.
oh, that's correct, yeah.
But it looks like right now, these satisfaction questions do have weights.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to, we can change that number.
Oh, can they all be one?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I think it just populated because of the number of questions. Every
Yeah.
time I hit a plus, because it comes out, it starts with three categories. So,
So if we're doing it here, I do think the ones we've seen prior would have to be updated as well.
these ones.
The satisfaction questions at the end of each section. Oh, yeah, I guess this too, yep.
Yeah, because there's no means for me to, unless I
It's odd.
take this, well, let's do, well, we'll just take the weights off. I only continue to populate it because the way it was just automatically doing it. So who knows if those really have a weight to them or not, you know what I mean?
Well, it's better that they're all consistent, at least. Even if we edit them, just edit them all to be the same.
Yeah, so we're caught.
So do these radio, like the 16, does it have weights? No, okay.
No.
Weird.
Salem, you might understand what this means. It's sort of like the logic behind weighting on SurveyMonkey, but it's gibberish to me.
Yeah, a weighted average. Right. I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example of why use it.
Who knows?
Yeah, I think the way that we have written everything though is that everything has an equal weight.
Right.
That's my understanding too.
That's what I would expect for us to anticipate. Because if we were looking for all the don't-knows, we weight that more,
Yeah.
right? But it would give us a false indication if they were weighted, to be honest, I think. All right, so housing, zoning,
But also,
change those, oh, we didn't change these weights.
I guess the one benefit is if you had, you'd be able to compare questions better. If, for instance, if you looked at the end and you just looked at the total of like how satisfied were you about section 1 versus section 2, with the weights at the end, whichever one has a higher weight, people were more satisfied with.
Right,
But I think still you should be able to see the independent, like the individual results and aggregate them how you want. It may just be something we need to run through individually and, or see if we can generate a set of results before it goes live and pick through the results, because that would be bad if we publish it and then the data's not what we expect coming back and
right.
haven't done all this effort.
Now, in this section where they get to write, I don't think there's any limit.
Okay.
At least I didn't see anything as far as a response box, how many characters, you know, like a text, you got, what, 144 characters in a text, or used to be in a text, but I don't know what it is today. But most people are into slang and text anyway. So, so economic development, we want to check on weights. And this is select all that apply, your opinion. I think that's, yeah. And we're weighting these to, but see, that weight corresponds when it's like that. You know what I mean?
But if one person picks very satisfied, that's the same as 5 people picking very unsatisfied,
Correct.
which is not,
Not what we want. Yeah, because waiting, a don't know at 6 is not,
I mean, you said it seems like a very odd default.
yeah.
Which is just making me question my understanding of this
Right.
whole process, but we can kind of research on our own time and make sure we
Yep.
understand what it's doing.
Yeah, I gotta have weights in here anyways. Oh, I can just click. What if we do that?
You were able to do that on the very, very first one we looked at, and then, I guess it's any
I
of them
think
that
I've been
have
doing-
multiple columns and multiple rows, you can
Yeah.
unselect it.
Yeah,
But for whatever reason, they force you into the weights for the single row.
yeah.
It's the same thing, like, why would they choose to do that? What are we missing here?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's another one, how satisfied are.
Yeah, but see that
Just,
one?
just the language, I mean, the
Oh,
words.
oh.
How s-
It's where you can see that.
LASIK was one of the very best things we ever did.
Huh?
LASIK was one of the best things
Oh.
ever did.
I was not a candidate, I just learned.
My nephew went to Canada to have it done, because it wasn't being done in the United States.
There you go.
All right, so we just did natural resources. You
So
know,
it looks like there's, on that visions, goals, objectives, it looks like there's a space after goals.
Yep.
Before the comma.
Now you're just showing off.
that's not what I want. I want this. Yeah, by the time, this is 3 hours in.
Yeah,
It was 11:30 at night that
It's
I
easy to
was.
criticize,
it was
like,
like,
you clearly put a ton.
Well,
in
that's why I
getting us
wanted
here.
you to look, you know? I was worried about how this would present. Anything there that needs to be fixed? No? Now, this is the part that I'm puzzled over, because I really didn't, I just populated it, I didn't play with it. But evidently you cannot. No. Why is it not doing what I want it to do? So that's, I guess we're gonna have to go to preview survey to see what that looks like, and it may not be what we want. 50. And hit save.
Those
Let's-
horizontal lines, is that like a drag and drop? Like you
Should
just,
be,
I don't know, it just keeps going back to question 50. It's supposed, something, I think it's supposed to drop down to tell me what. So let's go back and hit done editing. And then we'll go to preview survey. And we'll go down to, what was that question?
50?
50. So I'm gonna have to go like this to,
It looked like, could you hit the arrow next to Q50?
I tried that before, and all I did was open up on this section. So it just opens up there. It doesn't bring us to the, oops. Unless we go to maybe The question doesn't, the category might bring us there.
At the very top where it says showing all pages, can you limit it there?
I have to unclick all these guys.
Okay.
Doesn't do anything. So now what do? Click them all again?
That's so weird.
Yeah. You'd think you'd be able to navigate right to that,
Mm-hmm.
because even when I click on that show all, it just populates this side. It doesn't give me, I don't know what this, I don't know what that means. I don't want to click on it, do I? What's that little thing?
You would leave a comment.
Yeah. So we're gonna scroll through and go to that section. I mean, when I got this done, I was like, okay, I've hit save all along. Is it?
Right.
And it was like, I don't know, man. It's, did I lose this? Oh, see, it presents this way, so. Oh, just,
Well, you can't move it above one.
so what happens is that you're ranking the category. So that's all it's doing. So it's moving it up and down.
Which makes sense. I guess my,
But I don't know how intuitive that's gonna be. You know what I mean?
my maybe only concern is, yeah, maybe it's not intuitive, but I guess, well, now I'm thinking, like, how do we deal with it for people who are submitting on paper? We're gonna have to get them to fill in some numbers, that's fine.
Right,
But,
I don't know, I mean, there was a place where I could print it, and I'm gonna print it to see what it looks like.
Yeah. Can we randomize the order? I'm worried if we have a default, then people are just gonna click through and not give us real results at the end.
Okay, let's say, we're gonna go to edit, and we'll go back to,
And randomizing
yeah.
are not also real results, but it would help even
I think it
out.
would help with that last category.
Right.
So if we go to this, and so we can change,
What's that best worst scale option? Is that gonna ruin everything you've already done?
where is that?
Left column, fourth row.
Way over here?
Best worst
Oh.
scale. Yes.
I don't know what that does.
I don't wanna mess up what you've done, but that sounds like what we're looking for. But so does
But
ranking.
now I need to put in a column label as to what that looks like, and I don't know what that looks like.
Could you click on the question mark to the right of best worst scale? Now that you have it selected in the,
Oh, yeah, right here.
yeah. Oh, okay.
That's all it does, is tell me what I can choose. It doesn't help us.
Ranking makes sense because that's what we're asking people to do.
Right, but how do you, it doesn't tell me what it looks like when I'm, got all this listed out, you know?
Yeah. And I was hoping we'd be able to randomize it.
I did see that someplace. Bulk answers. No. options.
There we go.
Randomize, sort, or flip rows does not apply to other or none of the above answer choices.
And, quick question here, so we're asking for the top 5? Do we have a way to like cap responses at 5, or people will just rank and then we'll just capture the top 5?
I think so.
Yeah, I think we would just know that
So is
We just take the
random,
first
five and then
5.
kind of tail off after that and just assume people didn't do the whole thing.
We're asking for 5, but then we give them the whole thing,
Yeah.
so unless they
So-
have like a workaround for that.
so it's gonna randomize rows for each respondent.
Great.
Does that work?
Yep. And then if we could do the same for 51.
But I still don't like whatever this is doing as far as moving it up and down, to be honest. I'd rather them be able to put a number. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't understand why it's showing it in this edit view when we saw it in the preview and it was arrows and the
Right.
slider, the drag and drop
Right.
slider.
I mean, I don't know what, it just brings us to that category. I think that's gonna be cumbersome, to be honest. To figure out how to move it up and down. More actions, copy page. Page, skip logic, question and randomization page.
Maybe this is the kind of question we do want to use weights. Reformat it and, like, how important are the following?
I was Googling what a best worst slider looks like.
Say that again?
I was just Googling what a best worst slider looks like. Or scaling.
Well, what's this slider do? Just regular slider. So left side is 0,
Yeah, I think that's for discrete
right side's
integer
100.
values. Like on a scale of 0 to 100.
Mm-hmm. Matrix rating scale, I mean, we've used that before, but if I hit that, what does it look like? I'd have to put a column in for each category. Boop, boop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's
And we don't want that.
equally cumbersome.
What's the matrix of drop down? Again, columns. Oh, it's, maybe this is what we want. So, enter column label, enter answer choices, which is,
Oh man, if you had the whole list
yeah,
each time, could be. And then you'd offer them 5 columns. And I think we'd need to be very careful because we've done 1 as the least important, 5 as the most, or
yeah, I think we'd have to reverse this. well, you know, we're looking for number one, right? One is the best, one is the top priority,
Yeah.
top five. So what if we put in here, what?
What was the wording of the question again?
Please rank the top 5 categories where you think where is doing well. 1 equals best.
So, like, rank 5, right? Or,
Well, let's just see what this looks like. Because this isn't gonna give us weights. And we'll just see what it looks like. An error in saving this question. Oh, that's because we have to answer. Enter answer choices.
and that would be the whole list that you already have. You have it up above in the bulk
Yeah.
answer section.
So that would be in here, right?
Yep. And then you just have it 5 times.
So I don't think I can copy and paste
Well, if you
this.
scroll down a little bit, there's a bulk answers. And then copy paste out of there.
Okay, beautiful. Add answers in bulk. Right? Is that what we just wanted? Control C, no, Control A, Control V. Save. All right. Let's see what happens.
Oh, no.
Interesting. I'm still lost. What does that mean?
Yeah, I have no idea what that's supposed to do. It's gonna give a ranking for each, 1 through 5 for each one of them, that's not
Well,
what we want.
if you deleted all of these rows now, which you could do at that bulk edit again, and just, so if you scroll down a little bit, click bulk answers, and change that all, so delete all of it, and just put the word ranking. Now, there's gonna be one row called ranking, and you'll be able to pick, for rank number 1, which thing, for rank number 2, which thing.
You think?
I do. There you go.
All right, so we can't see that by clicking on it
Yeah.
in this, so let's do this for fun. We'll go and insert. Okay, so the preview, so I don't have to go out of the preview, but I need to go through this whole thing again, just to see what it looks like. Yep.
Then if you closed the
Nice.
SurveyMonkey Genius and then gave it some more screen width, it's not great, but that's the data we're looking for, but the presentation's kind of ugly.
Yeah.
We
I
may
mean, it's-
find that people only fill out 4, because they can only see that, but,
Yeah, that's-
Well, what if we add to this 1 equals best, 5 is worst?
Oh, you think you'll grow it that way?
It might,
Yeah, give it a shot.
or at least that they know they need to be looking for a 5.
yeah. Well, it does say top 5 categories already.
Right.
You're probably right, double down
Just-
on it.
yeah.
On the bottom of the screen next to the edit survey button, there are 3, that's how it should look on, a tablet and a cell phone.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's gonna,
Oh, I have another idea. In fact, I have a better idea. We did one row called ranking with 5 columns. If we had one column called ranking and then 5 rows that were, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then it would be presenting vertically.
Yeah, if we can do that, that would
so you wanna change this to what?
So delete so there should be, man, I don't know how the results are gonna, okay, I think it would look good, but it might mess up the results. So this is all fine, but then if you click on bulk answers, and then make like ranking 2, ranking 3, ranking 4, ranking 5.
Ranking 1,
Yeah.
and then ranking 2?
Yep. Yep. And then down below, delete, so rename column 1 to, so rows, to, I don't know, choice. We can fix it if it's working.
All of them, column 1 through 5
We're
is
gonna
choice?
delete columns 2 through 5. It's gonna be one column called, and I'm throwing out the word choice just to see what it looks like. And then we would delete 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're gonna have 5 rows with one column, which should prevent it from, yeah.
And this solves that other problem of picking 5 out of a long list and
Right,
just having the stuff hanging there.
so let's see if I can
Yes.
just hit refresh and if it will change it.
Oh, come on.
It does not. So, oh, we're still in, it brings us back to the beginning again. I'm fed up with this part of the process. Almost there. Now what? Oh,
That's a,
it's because it says it's randomized. I'm gonna take that randomize off of
Okay,
this,
we can fix that though.
right? And then you just, okay, that works. I like that. Or do you want to make that ranking
Sure.
choice?
Well, but now you've got ranking and ranking.
well,
we-
So,
We
options.
also,
Taking away the randomize, right?
yeah, the checkbox above that, yeah.
Okay.
This will still allow people to put the same thing for multiple rankings, but I think we just need to accept that.
Right, I think it cleans it up, it makes it clearer, I mean, more user-friendly than this other part.
Yeah.
So we're gonna change, so I'm gonna hit save for that, right?
Yep.
And then this one, we're going to do that same thing, correct?
Yep. Which, you do the bulk
was-
answers, oh yeah.
Which was what? Ranking? No, it wasn't ranking. What do we choose? Matrix drop-down menus?
I don't know how you found that, but
That's what we did, right?
yeah.
It's like matrix, it's over here somewhere, drop-down menus. Okay,
And then the bulk edit of,
and this is, so this is gonna be eliminated, right?
yeah, ranking, that
This
becomes,
becomes ranking.
that was choice.
Oh, this is choice.
And I don't really care that much, but just so we're
And
consistent right
then,
now.
oh,
Not here, not here.
are we adding the
Nope,
list here?
Not at this spot.
We don't add it there?
Nope, up above.
Up here?
Columns. Oh, no. No, I'm sorry, you're right. Sorry, I got crossed up.
It's right here, correct?
I was still thinking about the ranking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, so then we don't have nothing in that one. And then this goes to, do we eliminate this, right?
It should come down to 5 rows with the titles ranking 1, ranking 2, ranking 3, ranking 4, ranking 5.
So how do we eliminate this?
The little minuses way on the right.
We did all that for all of it?
Or you could bulk answer it and just edit the bulk answer. And then just type in,
Oh, yeah, that's what we did.
yeah.
Okay, ranking.
I'm trying to see how you can
One.
jump ahead in the preview in the meantime.
Okay. All right. And then we also wanted to get rid of this randomization. And that should do it. And without hitting redo, it's not gonna,
Yeah, the first couple of answers look like you're supposed to add some special logic that allows you to skip questions, and you're supposed to then skip ahead to the question that you actually want to be looking at, which is ridiculous.
all right, so I'm gonna hit this again. That way I'll update that randomization thing too. So it's free of overlapping, yeah, okay. It's free. %79% of respondents will finish. It'll take 27 minutes.
We'll see.
So,
This is. Can they see that online today, what we're doing over there?
not very well. No, we looked at this.
All right, so there's our first ranking, there's our second ranking. Beautiful.
On another one, you put the words best and worst, all caps and bold. That may be worth doing here to distinguish the two rankings, top 5, bottom 5, or however, or I suppose it's doing well and our other text there.
Okay,
Doing well.
in
and
all
then
caps? Or just
I think that's what
bold?
you did before, I think.
Right, I did best, yeah,
But if you did all caps, doing well, and then all caps,
and bold, right?
yes. And then need improvement on the 51.
Okay. Is that too many spaces? Yep, it was. Okay. That look better?
Yes.
All right, so let's go back to the question 10, see if we can figure out.
That was,
that
Oh, the
part-
age groups.
Age groups. Question 11, what are the age groups?
and what was, can I get your copy of what we actually wrote up? I could not find mine running out the door. So we wanted,
Hey, just to go back real quick, and you don't have to pull it up, Bill, I'm just looking at the questions as I have them on the Word doc. For top 5 categories, do we need vision, goals, and objectives as options? Should we,
I think we do, only because it may be someone's opinion that we don't have a vision.
okay, okay,
I mean, there's no ranking in the questions that are asked. It's all personal opinion at that point, which it was back in 2004 as well. There wasn't any multiple choice as to what that looked like. So it gives a person who would have a particular agenda or a particular vision for whatever. We want more town forests, but we want all our town forests to have mountain bike paths or ATV paths or that we need to develop those for cross-country skiing or that type of thing. I don't know, just as running off the top of my head, but it would give an understanding of, okay, I'm gonna rank vision as a poor, because there doesn't seem to be any, or as a good thing, because there seems to be, so, I don't know. That's
Okay.
how I looked at it. But that's why I put it before the summary categories, because it was like, that didn't fit there.
mm-hmm. All right, fair enough.
So,
what does the logic option do?
choose
Oh,
a page.
No.
You choose that, and then it will take you to a different page.
Yeah, we don't want that.
So the only thing else that we could look at is maybe this just same thing we just did in the matrix drop-down menus.
I was thinking, yeah, okay, if our answers are discrete, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we need to be able to say, 0 to 4, how many?
We could provide, 0 through, pick a top limit, 5. And then you would just say, I have 0 through 4, 2, 5 through 10, 5 kids, 11 through 13, and 0, 14 through 17.
Correct.
And
But
that
the
would-
problem is, I don't know, how are we gonna do that?
Well, just like so many of the other, the questions, the matrix rating scale, we could do it. So your columns would correspond with the answer. So column 1 would be 0, column 2, and so it would be 0, 1, 2, 3, and then we pick a top limit. And then you'd be able to answer for each of the rows, which are our age categories, your column answer would be how many children you have in each of those buckets.
And we'll make 5 for the laughs and giggles. And we're not using weights.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah, and if you have more than 5 kids in one of those categories,
Impressive.
come fill out the survey, come to one of our meetings, we'd love to hear more from you.
Yeah.
have an outsized influence on this town.
There was, the first church I served, we were part of a union of Russian churches. And whenever a Russian pastor came from the Soviet Union, or the former Soviet Union, one of our leaders made a big deal every time. There you go. Every time, he's got 8 kids. He's got 16 kids. You know, and it's like, here's one of the, Moscow is not a very wealthy environment, and you got all these extra kids, what, I don't, but he was always made a big deal about having multiple large families. So that works.
Is it clear what it's asking?
Let me soak this in for a sec.
Yeah.
Where are the age?
I think that works. That works better than that drop-down business.
Yeah.
This
I'm not,
captures the information we need.
I mean, if it's more than 5, well,
I'm not worried about that.
we could make it 5 plus. Solves the problem. I'm worried about, is it clear that the numbers on top, because for everything else in the survey, 1 through 5 is like an importance, but here it's actually a quantity.
right.
Um,
No, I think,
Is it
I think it's
possible?
cleared. I think it's clear.
yeah, if you read it.
Yeah.
Do we need a 0?
There is a 0.
Is that a 0 or an O?
No, no. Do we need a 0? I mean,
Oh, well, that was, well, what's question 10?
How many children total?
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then in that case,
So if you would put 0 there, and then you could either leave it blank or zeros down the column.
Right.
for
or the first line of 11 could be, yeah, like I have zero kids, period. Or I mean, this captures the information, so I don't feel like nitpicking it.
Could we make it 5 plus? Just, it's absurd, but it would be technically correct.
Let's see what that does. There you go.
Perfect. Looking at 12 there, there's not a space after the question mark.
Okay.
And I think I saw the same thing on one of the earlier ones as we scrolled past there. That one, 9.
After the adults.
Yep. And then for these, for the first one especially, if you check primary resident of where, can you also fill out that text box, or are you expected not to?
Well, let's see. I think once you make a decision. That's it.
Could you type in Goffstown there?
Yep.
Yeah, is there any way to prevent that?
No.
I guess we'll just need to sort through that.
Maybe we need to put primary other.
Like, we want it to only show up for that last option, right?
No, it would have to be secondary and non.
Oh, sure.
both.
Yep. So really, that's, I think that's a corner case. If somebody checks primary and then types in some other answer, we're gonna,
Yeah, we'll catch
we'll
it.
figure it out.
Disqualify the entire survey.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm looking, I asked Naomi for a logo. Town logo to stick right there. And then we'll hit the share button and figure out what the next step after that is, because I'm not gonna hit it until I know that, I think we've got all the bugs worked out.
Okay.
And then we'll hit, after I get the logo on there, we'll put the share and then decide whether we want a QR code or if we just want a link.
Okay.
And I'm,
QR codes are trivial.
right,
They're,
but I'm just thinking about some of our seniors who are trying to, they're not gonna understand.
I would do, if we have a QR code, I would also do a link.
Yes.
But,
If a QR code is gonna be easier to put a little bit of verbiage on a piece of paper, or, I mean, we need to decide what the piece of paper is gonna look like being sent out. Do we use this same introduction as a cover letter, and at the end, say, here is the link, here is the QR code. Either way, you can do it on your phone, you can do it on your computer.
And you're talking the one that goes with the tax bills, right? So I don't remember, but maybe you could also ask Naomi for, like, I know we did it 2 years ago. We sent out a flyer that said, hey, you know, please recycle, it saves the town money, et cetera, et cetera. I don't remember if that was 8.5 by 11, I don't remember, but if, we should at least be able to work within those parameters.
Yes.
I think it was an 8.5 by 11, but I don't remember for sure.
And not getting a tax bill, well, I do get a tax bill for one piece of property the church owns, but there's not a whole lot of fluff, excessive paper in it anyways. So it shouldn't increase the cost of the mailing.
Yep.
I think it still falls under whatever we have. Excuse me.
Yeah, I suppose that would, hadn't thought this through, it would, I mean, it should probably be approved by the Board of Selectmen. Say, yes, we do want to include this in the tax bill, you know, from the town, and we do want to pay for whatever extra charge that is. But, I mean, we've talked about it enough at the board that it's not gonna surprise anybody, it shouldn't surprise anybody. I think it's just, I would hope at that point it's a formality to say, yes, we approve of this expenditure. That's not, and I'm happy to do that, or if you wanna come and present, say, hey, we've been working on this, that is another opportunity that people will be able to know that it's coming,
Right.
be ready for it. But I'll leave it up to you.
So what I'll do is I'll talk to Naomi about what that would look like, and then to get on the docket either this Monday or next.
This agenda's already set for this Monday.
Okay, so it'll be the next, which is the fourth, no, that's the 21st.
Yes. Sounds right.
No, this Sunday is the 7th. This Monday is the 7th.
21st.
So it's the 13th, 14th.
Oh, yeah, I'm missing a week.
Well, to get the minutes straight here, we're saying that in case there's an extra cost associated with postage and
Right.
printing of whatever we're printing.
Yeah.
So this is what we're gonna make sure is
Presented,
approved.
yeah.
Okay.
You feel they're gonna wanna see what we've just done?
I think if you sent out ahead to the board members' email reflector, and either had a link that could be shared or just the Word doc, say this is the survey that, the subcommittee created, the planning board approved, and it's easier when we know it's coming, so if you can say, my ask is, and what we just talked about, and,
So in the edit section here that I'm in, there's a print. So I could probably print that hard copy to see what it looks like,
yeah.
and then I'll print it and save it as a PDF to send. That way, the final document, as far as what is presented on the Survey Monkey, would be available
Yeah,
for them
that'd be
to
great.
consider.
And what I would love to have happen is, I know we're not sure exactly what the share button does, but if we made like, really just like a mock survey, like that has nothing to do with this, and just hit the share button, I'm sure it's just a drop down, like, do you want to email it to someone? Do you want to text it to your friend? So like, I'd love to play with it, give you feedback on my user experience. I don't think if we push this button, anything bad will happen now, but
Well, yeah. Do we take a chance?
Yes.
Because I just don't want, well.
I don't think it's gonna go like out into
Let
the
me-
public or anything.
Let me see what, no, that doesn't do what I want it to do.
Yeah, I bet if anything, it's sharing it for multiple editors.
How did I save a draft? How did I do that? Settings.
The build option. Way on the left.
Invite use, ask your admin, invite a teammate, create survey. I don't know what this does. Already been there, apply, woo-foo. That's products.
What does it say when you mouse over the share button without clicking on it? Anything?
Nothing. But I do have it saved as a draft, and I don't know how I did that, because I was panicking on file upload, click upgrade. Options. Question bank format. I don't know. I mean, we made changes that I don't want to mess with if we lose it.
One way to test, if you open a new tab and just went to surveymonkey.com, then you'd be signed in already, and I'm betting it would present Ware Master Plan Survey 2025 in this state.
Right. So this is preview, I can close that, this is still design, I can close that, that's already design. So what do you want me to do?
Just open a new tab and go to surveymonkey.com. And then I'm betting they have some kind of either resume or your account or whatnot.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
copy,
But
but I don't know how I made that copy unless I went, yeah, make a copy is what I did.
Great.
So, so this is updated 4.2, so if I hit that, make a copy, it would make a secondary copy of everything we've updated. And this other one I can probably get rid of.
So
We'll go to home.
I've confirmed that share is just like a collaboration. Collect responses is what we're after. And then that would enable you to enter an email address or something to.
Okay, so this, I'm gonna
advertise.
get rid of this.
Yep.
Make a copy, delete. Can't be undone. Survey name for copy master plan survey responses. Okay, delete survey. So the 4.2 update is what we're at. Okay, so what did you do? So from this position, if I send, or from this position, if I hit share?
See, like collect responses, I think if you, oh, that's not a button, that's a step.
Yeah, it's a step.
Oh, my mistake.
Connect apps, I mean, it takes us someplace. So, collect responses.
That should give us some choices.
There's not gonna be anything there. How would you like to collect the responses to your survey? It's gonna go by, so we'll go back to
But
that.
that's what we'll end up doing.
Right. So it's gonna be coming to, no, I don't wanna get the demo. Everybody's trying to sell you something. I was still dealing with the copy
So how to
of
send
design.
how to send a test survey is go to the collect responses section and then it should be very obvious, it says.
Well, but we're looking for a way to print it now, right?
Oh, is that it?
Or are you
Oh.
hoping to make a,
I can make a print
oh,
right over here in the
okay.
bottom corner over here.
or were you looking to actually share a dummy? Because I think that would be collect responses, the left option, and
Here we go. Share your survey for review.
yeah, this would be,
During the session, anyone with a link can view your survey design and leave comments, no account required. Sessions are open for 10 days. People with access, check who currently has access to your survey and update that permission. So if I hit this, hit this copy, right?
so we don't really want to head down a path where either this board or another board could be providing feedback in that way, because that would be, a legal meeting. If there were some kind of read-only, I think that'd be fine. But if you start saying, hey, leave feedback and start getting comments from,
So this is, according to this link is for preview only and won't record responses.
if you were responding to the survey, like entering in your number of
Correct.
children and whatnot,
Right.
But-
It's just for preview, it's not,
and leaving comments, which is my concern.
anyone with link can view your survey, design and leave comments, no account required, link is active for 10
So
days.
the ability to leave a comment
Yeah.
is the
I
problem.
mean, if you're very clear and say, you know, you can look at this, but do not leave a comment, like, this is not
What if I
a,
just send it to you two?
we're still, all, the three of us form a quorum. And again, like, as long as we aren't collaborating outside of the public eye, I think it's okay in a read-only type structure.
Yeah, for the record, we'll send it out just to test and play with, and no,
But any feedback from that testing would be done at the next instance of this meeting.
Right. So we could send it to Naomi and Craig.
Sure.
So I got the link copied, now I gotta open up. But we still have to add the. Why can't I find this
Excuse me.
or just send it to Salem and not me, and we won't constitute a meeting. No, I'm off the hook.
Should send it to just Dan, get him to do something.
I give up. So I'm not gonna send it through Outlook, I don't know why it won't open.
Well, I mean, this is something, like, we don't have to do it right this second, if you wanna work it out. So I think
For review
we have the next meeting scheduled.
only.
Our next meeting is scheduled?
I think so, isn't it? Or am I thinking of this one again? Because we had the one that had to be canceled because it wasn't canceled, it was never posted.
Well, if it is scheduled, I don't know when our next
Yeah,
meeting
I
is.
think you're right, it was Tony, actually.
It's not scheduled yet. It would be, it would have to be May 7th. Please review the survey, no comments. Or comments will be discussed. At the next subcommittee meeting.
Great. You should include Dan, so he can stay in the loop.
Okay. Paste. Okay,
All right.
Works for me.
tentatively May 7th.
Yeah, and that's another thing to check with Naomi is what's her drop dead date for getting stuff
Yeah.
finalized? If we have to meet sooner.
The only problem is if we meet sooner, we may not have, public presentation. You know what I mean? Cause there's, well, we can look at it here.
You know, if it's, even if it were after the 14th, that buys us more than 3 weeks.
I mean, with the 7th, I don't know when they go out, so. The end of May.
I don't remember.
Well, I haven't sent the email yet, so. There's no time in April to meet again.
Well,
Because I can't meet the 23rd, and there's a town forum on the 30th.
like if we had to, could meet upstairs, or just not on a Wednesday. But that's, the first thing we need to find out is what's the actual date that we need to have stuff submitted by. I mean, if it's mid-May, then we're fine anyway. We would just need to go into that May 7th meeting.
So I'm just gonna
knowing-
leave that tentatively May 7th,
Sure.
or yet to be discussed. That's yet to
But you're
be
thinking we could actually get in the next tax mailing?
scheduled.
Yep,
I mean, if we don't get it in May, you can get it obviously in the fall,
absolutely,
but
yeah.
I mean, is the May one realistic if we have to design and print and pay for something after?
That's one of the questions for Naomi.
right.
Okay.
What's the final logo? What's the drop dead date? What, and what feeds into that is, what does it take? What do we need to do? We have a survey that we are pretty sure is complete, but I guess we'll review it, independently with our own devices and whatnot. And yeah, who needs to handle the printing, and whatever the design is.
Right. And so that's to be discussed May 7th, or?
I'd suggest you at least ask the questions of Naomi. And, as the chair, you'd be able to call a meeting sooner if you had to.
Correct.
So, May 7th, unless we find out something earlier is necessary.
I mean, what's another day of the week that's good? Friday's the only other open night.
Tuesdays? Could do it Monday, skip another selectmen meeting.
Yeah, I got another commitment on Monday. All right, let's just let yet to be scheduled, and the only thing that has to be updated on the survey at this point, unless there's something blaring, we have, just the detail is how it's gonna be printed and who's gonna pay for that.
Yep, and I guess one of the questions was asking to be on the
Yeah,
agenda to present this and to ask for that funding if necessary.
all right, so I'm gonna send this the way it is, yet to be scheduled.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Do you think we could get, when it is time to, get the survey out there, like on the town website, have a little banner, like.
Yeah, there's usually a red one when it's, like, something important. It's either,
Like our survey.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, it shows up, where does that show? It shows up right above news and calendar.
Yeah, and it goes like the width of the screen.
So if we could just try to make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who would that be a question for?
That's another Naomi.
Another Naomi?
There are other people who can modify the website, but I think it's good to funnel all this kind of stuff through.
Yeah. Do we have a building inspector now?
Do we have a building inspector now? We've done so much hiring. Yes, we do.
Really?
Yep. As of 8 days ago, is that right?
Oh, I was in
So
last week, and
I
then
believe we're
it goes over
down
here.
to, well, we made the motion 8 days ago, and his start date was, it may still be another week from now.
Okay.
So we're down to one full-time police officer and one full-time transfer station, I believe.
Yet to be hired.
Yeah. And, I don't know, it's not the notes I brought with me, or the brain I brought with me.
All right, so I'm gonna close this. So that share has been done. And the other thing that happens is that you send survey. That's different.
And that's the,
So when it's finalized again, once I add the logo, it'll be finalized again, and then I'll make another copy just so that we have it, and then I'll delete this copy.
Okay.
That way
Makes
we're
sense.
not messing around with multiple things. Okay? You got it all, Phil?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll probably go home tonight or first thing in the morning and print a copy to see what it looks like, and then once I get the logo, I'll do that as well and send that to the selectmen. And is there a bulk mail for that, or?
yep, board members at we'renh.gov. In fact, oh, never mind, it's on the other letterhead.
At where, NH?
.gov, yep.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Yes.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Go get the video.